Shalom, shalom. Can y'all see me? Shalom, shalom. right, shalom, shalom. Can y'all hear me? Type Y for yes. Type Y for yes if you can hear me. All right. Okay. Can y'all see me? And I'm having an issue with my camera, but can you guys hear me? I mean, not hear me, but see me. If you can see me, type S. If you can see me. All right. How do I show? Do I look kind of blurry or moving slow? Let me know if you see me moving slow. I think I got a bad internet connection here, but let me know if you can see me. Okay, y'all. I guess you can see me. It's blurry. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna see how this works. If it don't work, y'all might have to set it up different. Said all the scripts a little slow, but I can see you. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's like a delay. It's gonna may look like a Chinese movie, like a Moab movie. I don't know if it's my camera or if it's the internet, but I believe it can't be the internet if y'all can see me and you can hear me clearly. It might be my camera or whatever, because I can't hook up this other camera I have. But bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. But anyways, hey, shalom, Most High in Christ bless. My name, I'm Officer Nahum. This is History in the AM. The topic going to be our father Abraham. So we'll touch on our forefather Abraham. We'll go into history on that. So let's start here real quick. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 11 and verse Genesis 11 and 27 real quick. We'll start there. Let me see if my scribe is on. Type yes if my scribe, if you on scribe. All right, okay, all right. Yeah, and I was just texting with another officer. He said he could hear me good, so I guess y'all can hear me as well. It's like I get like a delayed or something like that. Okay, all praises, all praises. I was trying to see if the scribe is on. Okay, he said I'm visible. Okay, the all script. I guess that might be the script. Okay, all right. So we'll start off at Genesis chapter 11 and verse 27. hold on, from Genesis 11 to 27. All right, that says, now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abraham, Nahor, and Haran begot Lot. So as we know Lot's father, his name was Haran, okay? And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldees. So they was living in the land today, what you will call modern day Iraq. Okay, so Iraq, that's the land of the Chaldees, you know what I'm saying, what they call Mesopotamia, over there, so-called Middle East. So that's where he had came from, okay, just for those who didn't know. And Abraham and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abraham's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren; she had no children. So our foremother, talking about Sarai, that was her name before it was Sarai, before it became Sarah. So she was barren, meaning her womb was closed. So she wasn't able to bear kids, okay, to have any children. Okay, so verse 31, and Terah took Abraham, his son, and Lot, and the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, his son Abraham's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came into Haran and dwelt there. So they left their homeland of Ur of the Chaldees. So they said, hey, you know what? We're gonna go to a different place over here in the land of Canaan. It's called Haran, the same name of Abraham's brother, okay, or Lot's father. So just for those who don't know, Abraham and Lot, you know what I'm saying, their family. Lot is Abraham's nephew, okay. Verse 32, and the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Okay, so the father, he died there. Now, so we're going to go to chapter 12. All right. Genesis chapter 12 and verse 1, it says, now the Lord said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house into a land that I will show thee. So the Most High, he picked Abraham, you know what I'm saying? He said, hey, look, hey, I need you to leave your family, come on there, I want you to follow me. There's a reason why he chose Abraham, you know what I'm saying? So go to, we're going to go into 2nd Ezra chapter 3, and we're going to start at, we'll start here at verse 7. No, not 7. Actually, we'll start at, let's start at verse 11. We'll start there with the flood. Okay, so 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse 11 says, nevertheless, one of them thou leftest, namely Noah, with his household, of whom came all righteous men. So we know about Noah. After the flood, everybody came from Noah's descendants, his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Okay, I wanted to go through, early on in chapter 11 of Genesis, but there'll be a lot of trying to go through all the names and who came from who. But just let you know, Abraham came from that lineage of Shem, okay, from Noah's son Shem. All right, so now verse 12, and back in 2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 12, and it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply and had begotten them many children, and were a great people, they began again to be more ungodly than the first. So that go back to chapter 11 as you read up top. It's going into during that time of Nimrod. Okay, when you read about Nimrod, everybody spoke the same language. He wanted everybody to follow him, and he'd say he was 100 before the Lord, and everybody was wicked. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's imagination, what they wanted to do, that they wanted to build that tower. So the Lord said, hey, we gotta break that up and divide everybody up into different languages, and that's how the earth was divided. Okay, so verse 13. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them. Okay, so we're gonna find out who that man is, whose name was Abraham. So the Most High chose Abraham. Okay, just like he chose us. You know what I'm saying? He chose the Israelites. When you read that in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. Okay. So he always picking somebody and choosing somebody to show his will. So verse 14, him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showest thy will. You know what I'm saying? So we know what the will of God is, right? For those that don't know, go to Psalms. We'll go to Psalms chapter 40 and verse 8 real quick. The book of Psalms chapter 40. Bear with me, my Bible all tied up. It's old, but Psalms chapter 40 and verse 8 here will show us what the will of the Lord is. The book of Psalms chapter 40 and verse 8. I delight to do thy will, O my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart. Okay, so that's what the Lord's will is, his law, statutes, and commandments, okay? Alrighty, so let's go here real quick. We'll go back here to read why the Lord chose him, okay? All right, it says, him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showedest thy will, okay? In verse 15, and madest an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake thy seed, okay? So what seed is he talking about? Verse 16, and unto him thou gavest Isaac. You always hear about Abraham, Isaac, and unto Isaac thou gavest Jacob, okay? But he said Jacob and Esau. But as for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau. I mean, he said, Esau, get the heck away. You know what I'm saying? Because Esau, he despised his birthright. He was already chosen that he was going to go left. Okay, and so Jacob became a great multitude. Okay, so that's where I'm gonna leave off at right there in Second Ezra. So we'll go back to Genesis chapter 12 and verse 1. Okay. Now the Lord has said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. So pretty much, he tell him leave. You got to leave your kindred, because Abraham's family. You know what I'm saying, they were wicked. They were into idolatry. They were idol worshippers. Okay, so he was like, hey, I need you to get away from them, separate yourself. It's the same thing with us, and we come into this truth. How it says, many are called, but few were chosen. So hey, we chosen out of that many, out of all the people of our nation. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of us. It's a lot of us here on the earth, but the Most High chose a selected few. We're gonna be that light, that beacon to everybody else. But that's where he said you got to separate yourself from the world. You separate yourself from your wicked family as well. Not saying you can't talk to them or speak to them or whatever. But just watch yourself with them. You know what I'm saying? So. Verse 2, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. So you're going to be a blessing, okay? Why? Because you're chosen. And verse 3, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, right? So he's like, I'm going to bless. If anybody do good unto you, I have mercy on them and do good, do right to them. But anybody do evil to you, guess what? I'm gonna do evil to them, because I chose you, I love you, and I'm not showing my will, my law, statutes, and commandments to you, okay? And in thee, all families of the earth, all families of the earth be blessed, okay? So what is going into all the families? Talking about us being scattered amongst the four corners of the earth. We amongst all different nations, and the Most High said, hey, we that chosen seed, what I'm saying? That's that Christ, what I'm saying? That Christ. He done the promises given to us to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What I'm saying? Which Jacob's name would change to Israel. The 12 tribes come from Israel as well. Okay. All right. So with that, so pretty much you got Christ. Christ will come to bless all 12 tribes of Israel with grace and the kingdom. Okay. That's what that's going into. That's that promise. Okay. So with that, we'll go to Galatians chapter 3 and 16 real quick. Let's go there right fast. Go there with y'all Bibles. And my apologies with the camera, you guys. If those that's coming along and you like, dang, he blurry or I look like a kung fu movie. My apologies. Lord's will, I get a better camera and it'll work better. Okay, so Galatians chapter 3 and verse 16, it says, now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made, okay? So, as we read about, you read that throughout the history. So we're reading about right now the first patriarch is Abraham. So not verse 16 again. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He said not and to seeds as of many. Meaning, because he gonna plenish, he got a lot of got a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, a lot of generations, but there's a chosen seed. But as of one, and to thy seed, which is Christ. Okay, so Christ, that seed that is you know what I'm saying, is the chosen one. You know, that's the anointed one, the Christ. Okay, so now it said, so because Israel is the only family of the earth that who the Lord knows. You know what I'm saying? The Lord knows Israel, right? So go to Amos 3:1 real quick. We'll go in there. Amos chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, verse 2, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. Okay, so the Most High, you know, he said, I'm going to punish y'all. You the only people I know. You're the only people I gave my laws, statutes, and commandments to. Hey, you know, just like in your household. You know, you got your kids being bad. Hey, you know, and let's say you might have had some friends or something like that over it. You can't, you know, necessarily punish the other kids because they ain't your children. You know what I'm saying? You can't touch them, but your kids you can touch. You can put the belt or switch on them. You know what I'm saying? You can tear them up for them being disobedient. All right, so back to Genesis chapter 12, and we'll start off at verse 4. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. So you know, as he listened to the Most High. Guess who else followed him? His nephew Lot. Okay, why? You know, because Lot's father died. So you know, Abraham, you know, he pretty much adopted, helped raise Lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the age difference or whatever, but you know, I know they were pretty close. So. But we know his father died back in the land of Ur of the Chaldees. So he took Lot, he raised Lot up, showed Lot everything. So he was like a father figure to Lot. Okay, all right. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. Okay, so at this time Abraham was an older gentleman. He was 75 years old. It says, and verse 5, and Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. Okay, so now they're coming into the land of Canaan, which is today the land of Israel. Okay, and into the land of Canaan they came. So now that they came there, and Abram passed through the land into the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanites was then in the land. So that's what you read about. You know, you can read about the Canaanites in Genesis chapter 10. That's from the Canaanites are descendants of Ham. Okay, so those are Hamitic tribes that dwelled in the land of Canaan, that went in there into the land of Canaan. Okay, all right, verse 7. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land, and there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Hai on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. So, you know, he had an altar he made, you know, where he did sacrifices. Verse 9, and Abram journeyed going on toward the south. So now he's moving southward, and from coming from the top, going all the way down south toward the land of Egypt. And there was a famine in the land, and Abraham went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. So just let you know, like, you know, it was a famine, there was no food, none of that stuff. So he had to come into the land of Egypt. While Egypt was a thriving, you know, was a known thriving country at that time. You know, you got the Nile River and all that stuff that flowed through there. So there's all kind of abundance of food, and you know, there's a lot of people there. So they had, you know, they had a thriving culture taking place at that time. Okay, all right. Let me read it again. Genesis chapter 12, verse 10. And there was a famine in the land, and Abraham went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. Verse 11. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, behold, Now, he said, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Fair meaning, she was very beautiful. She was a pretty woman because, for those who don't know, Abraham, he's 10 years older than his wife, okay? So he was 75, so she was 65 at this time, okay? So just let you know, she was beautiful at the age of 65, just let you know, hey, the type of foods and stuff that we eat today, hey, that stuff is aging us up. It's already messing us up. Our food is defiled. Esau, they got their hands in all everything. You know what I'm saying? So how they create food and everything's all messed up. It's got chemicals. Even in our meats. That's how the animals are growing fast. Or like you see the women and the young men. Hey, they developing fast, maturing. Hey, that thing crazy, So, they didn't have all that type of stuff, that GMO and all that. They didn't have that back in these days. So our forefathers and them and foremothers and them, they looked very good and beautiful, during this time. Okay, they ate well, they walked, they exercised. A lot of us, we don't have that in us. We don't got lazy because of what do you call it, technology. All right, so back to verse 12 here. All right, so Genesis chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say this, that they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Let me read that again. I might have jacked that up. All right. Verse 12. Therefore it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, this is his wife. So they're going to be like, you got to be his wife. As pretty, as beautiful you is, we know he don't wipe you up, okay? And they will kill me, but they will save thee alive, okay? So he was like, hey, they're going to kill me. You know what I'm saying? If they know that you my wife, they're going to kill you. They're going to kill me, and they're going to try to take you, okay? And that was in their mindset. Like, hey, we got to get her. So we're going to read on to get more edifying on this, okay? Verse 13. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister. Let them know. Tell them, say, hey, man, you my sister, okay? We not husband and wife, but you my sister, which is true. That it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. So that's what he's letting her know. Okay, hey, we're gonna come in the land. We're gonna let them know we're not husband and wife, but we just brother and sister. Okay, why? So that way they don't try to kill Abraham for her. Verse 14, and it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. So they looking at her like, man, she bad. Yeah, she look good. They already like asking, like, what, that got to be his wife. So they probably asking, and he like, nah, we brothers and sisters. Verse 15, the princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her after Pharaoh, right? So, and the woman was taken unto Pharaoh's house. So now they took Sarah and brought her to Pharaoh's house. They're like, hey, this woman here beautiful right here, man. You might want her. We know how the Egyptians got their crazy laws and stuff like that. You can read about that in Leviticus chapter chapter 18 and 19. It tell us don't follow the ways of the Egyptians. That's why when we went in the wilderness, we had to purge all that Egyptian stuff out of us, okay? Because we were defiled from the Egyptians. All right. Verse 16, and he entreated Abraham's well for her sake. Right, so he said, hey, man, he talked to her. He said, hey, man, your sister look good, man. And let's see what he did. He said, and he had sheep and oxen and he asses and manservants and maidservants and she asses and camels. So he gave Abraham all that stuff. He like, hey, you know what? This to show how beautiful she was. The Pharaoh said, hey, look, I'm gonna give you all this stuff right here if I can take your sister, okay? And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. So the Most High started plaguing the Egyptians because he wanted to take, because he was trying to commit adultery. So just let y'all know that law, what I'm saying, there were certain laws that were given to Shem, Ham, and Japheth that they passed down all the way down to their generations as well. Okay. So they knew this law too, the law of adultery. So he knew that's why they would want to kill Abraham, because they knew that law of adultery, okay, that they would be jacked up from that. All right. Let me see. Yeah, verse 18. It says, and Pharaoh called Abram and said, what is this that thou hast done unto me? He said, why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why didn't you tell me she was your rib, man, your wife? Why you didn't tell me that? Because the Most High done jacked him up and gave him a vision, showed him, hey, you messing with somebody's wife right here. Right, it's verse 19. Why saidest thou, she is my sister? So I might have taken her to be my wife. So, he was like, hey, I almost was about to sleep with her. So he was gonna lay down with her. But that didn't happen, you know what I'm saying? So that's what he was saying, right? He said, I would have took her to be my wife, I would have slept with her. Right? He said, now therefore behold thy wife. Hey, take your wife, take her and go thy way. He said, take her and leave the land of Egypt, okay? And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, meaning concerning of Abraham, and they sent him away and his wife and all that he had. Okay, so remember that, all what he had, okay? All right, so now we're going to chapter 13. All right, chapter 13 and verse 1. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him, right, into the south. So, so now they done left out of the land of Egypt. And verse 2, and Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. Okay, so you got to ask yourself, how did Abraham get very rich in cattle and with silver and gold? That was the substance that Pharaoh gave him. Okay, for that he wanted to take his wife Sarai. Okay, what he thought was his sister, but guess what? He had treated him with all those manservants, maid servants, and all the cattle and silver. They already had some servants that followed with him, and they had some kindred people that followed along with him, just the same as with Lot, how Lot followed along with him too. Okay, so that's how Abraham got rich. Okay, but ultimately you gotta remember, the riches, they all come from the Most High. Okay, so he kept the commandments, he obeyed the Lord, so the Most High made him rich. Okay. And verse 3, and he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai. So he ended up going back to the same place where he was at before the famine had came. Okay, verse 4, unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first, and there Abraham called on the name of the Lord. And Lot also, which went with Abram, and had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. So now like you got a process of time taking place. So hey, like Abraham, he's very wealthy, he's very rich, got a lot of substances. He gonna look out for his nephew. So his nephew, that's with him. His nephew getting blessed too. His nephew was keeping the commandments. The Most High was dealing with his nephew as well. So, and guess what? He become rich and wealthy with a lot of manservants, and he probably had a lot of gold and silver too. Okay, so they couldn't. So to let you know, they couldn't dwell together. There's a lot of stuff, taking place. It's like you. Let's say you and your family, y'all got land, and all y'all can't dwell in the same land. You got too much stuff. So guess what we're gonna have? We're gonna have chaos take place. All right. So we're going to chapter 13 and verse 7. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's Abram's cattle, and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanites and the Perizzites dwelled in the land too. So of course you had the Canaanites there in the land. They was amongst not amongst them, but they was around them. Okay, so while they was there, there was always a tussle, a fight, over land, over the animals. The animals get together, they start fighting against each other as well. Because the animals are territorial. So it was always some issue taking place. So we're gonna see how our forefather and his nephew handled that. Verse 8, and Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen. He said, for we be brethren. He said, we family, man. You know what I'm saying? We can't, because you got to think about it. When they have issues, guess what? It's going to come back to both of them. So they, you get fed up. You get tired of, you're like, damn, what's going on? So guess what? Them two always had to talk and hash things out amongst their, their manservants, their maidservants, family, so on and so forth. So it was always some issues, so they had to be there to judge the matters. So, but it was like, hey, don't let nothing come in between us, because we family, okay? Verse 9, it's not the whole land before thee, separate thyself. So this is what Abraham said, hey, you see this whole land, all this stuff is all before us. It's time for us to go. We gotta separate ourselves, because the land can't hold us both, okay? He said, I pray thee from me. He said, if thou would take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou would depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. He's letting them know, if you go this way, I'll go that way, or vice versa, okay? And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, okay, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the Garden of Eden, even as the garden of the Lord, okay, meaning that's basically going to the Garden of Eden. I'm jumping ahead. Like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. So just let you know that land was plentiful. So you had a lot of greenery. Wasn't all desert like how we see today. Everything is desolate now. But at one time, that place there was beautiful. Probably probably looked like how I look in the when you go to Africa or South America, South and Central America, how you got the jungles and stuff, all that vegetation. So they have fruits, vegetables, all that stuff. Everything looked nice out there, okay? Alrighty, so jumping down to verse 11. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from the other. Okay, so now it's time for them to separate themselves. Hey, you go over here, and the other one say, I'm going to go over this way right here, okay? And Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent towards Sodom. So that's where, so letting Lot went, he dwelled in the land of Sodom, okay? But Sodom and Gomorrah, I believe it was 5 cities, 5 or 7. I can't remember the name. Can't remember the amount. I think it was 5 or 7 cities that it was. That we always hear about those two, Sodom and Gomorrah. But I know the Apocrypha it does mention the name of those cities. I should have put that in my notes, but that'd be for another time. Maybe I'm thinking I might have to redo this whole class again, but I'm just going to go through it though. Verse 13, but the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. So we know what was taking place in Sodom and Gomorrah. The bunch of homosexuality taking place, okay? Same thing like, they said today, like the land of America, you might say the whole earth pretty much is going to be just like how it was before the flood and during the time of Sodom and Gomorrah. And we see that today. We see what's taking place with the LGBTQ and all that stuff. Verse 14, and the Lord said unto Abram, after Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes and look, and look from the place where thou art northward and southward and eastward and westward. He said, look around you, all around about you, okay? For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it. He said, I'm going to give all this land to you, to your seed, okay? And to thy seed forever. So this is our land, what he's talking about. He said, everything you see over here, that's going to be Israel, okay? And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth. So, you can't measure the dirt, the dust of the earth, okay? Meaning going to the grain of sand and dirt and all that. Most High said we scattered amongst all people. We got some people look like the other nations, you know what I'm saying? Over during the time of mixing. And, with our forefathers and them. You got to think about the wars that Esau had,